Welcome back to Topify. Today we're counting down the top 10 most famous artworks with a secret. Art isn't just about beauty, it's full of hidden meanings, mysterious symbols, and even secret messages that only some people notice. From Renaissance masterpieces to modern classics, these artworks have captivated viewers for centuries. And if you're new to Topify, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our amazing countdown. 10. The Last Supper, Leonardo da Vinci, 1495 to 1498. We begin with Leonardo da Vinci's The Last Supper, one of the most analyzed and debated paintings in history. This iconic mural, painted on the wall of a monastery dining hall in Milan, depicts Jesus and his 12 disciples sharing their final meal before the crucifixion. On first glance, it shows a moment of drama. Jesus has just announced that one of them will betray him, and the disciples react with shock and confusion. But art historians have long debated hidden messages embedded within the composition. Notice the subtle gestures and positions of the hands. Some scholars believe these form secret codes or musical notes when connected. 9. The Arnolfini Portrait, Jan van Eyck, 1434. Next is the Arnolfini Portrait, a 15th century masterpiece by Flemish painter Jan van Eyck. At first, it looks like a wealthy couple, possibly a merchant and his wife, posing for a formal portrait in their well-appointed home. But this painting is actually one of the most symbol-packed artworks ever created. Look closer, and you'll notice hidden symbolism everywhere. The tiny dog at their feet represents loyalty and fidelity in marriage. The single candle burning in the chandelier during daytime hints at the all-seeing eye of God or divine presence at this ceremony. Because yes, some scholars believe this is actually a wedding portrait, with the painting serving as a legal document. 8. Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci, 1503 to 1519. Of course, no secret art list would be complete without the Mona Lisa, the world's most famous painting. Created by Leonardo da Vinci in the early 16th century, this portrait of Lisa Gherardini has captivated millions at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Beyond her enigmatic smile, which seems to change depending on where you stand, experts have found subtle details that add layers of mystery. The landscape behind her is deliberately asymmetric, with the horizon line on the left higher than the right, creating a subtle sense of unease. Some scholars believe the barren, dreamlike background represents an imaginary landscape, while others see it as two different scenes merged together. 7. The Garden of Earthly Delights, Hieronymus Bosch, 1490 to 1510. Hieronymus Bosch's The Garden of Earthly Delights is perhaps the most bizarre and mysterious painting on our list. This massive triptych, a 3-paneled altarpiece, presents what seems like chaotic nightmare fuel, but it's actually a carefully constructed moral narrative about paradise, sin, and damnation. The left panel depicts the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve in paradise. The massive central panel shows an earthly garden filled with nude figures engaging in surreal pleasures among giant fruits, strange animals, and impossible architecture. The right panel reveals hell, a dark, terrifying landscape of torture and punishment. But what seems like random chaos actually contains incredibly specific hidden symbols. 6. American Gothic, Grant Wood, 1930. Moving to American art, we have American Gothic by Grant Wood, one of the most iconic and parodied paintings in history. At first glance, it appears to depict a stern farmer and his daughter, or maybe his wife. The relationship is deliberately unclear, standing rigidly in front of a distinctive farmhouse with a Gothic-style window. But beneath its apparent simplicity lies subtle commentary that scholars still debate. The man's pitchfork, held like a weapon, has 3 tines that echo throughout the painting. In the seams of his overalls, the window behind them, and even in the composition itself. Some interpret this as religious symbolism representing the Holy Trinity, while others see it as a symbol of rigid work ethic or even hostility. And if you haven't subscribed to Topify yet, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our amazing countdowns. We've got so many more fascinating lists coming your way. 5. The Scream, Edvard Munch, 1893. Edvard Munch's The Scream is one of the most recognizable images in art history, famous for expressing existential dread and modern anxiety. But beyond its powerful emotional impact, some fascinating secrets lie hidden in its colors, composition, and even the paint itself. First, let's address a common misconception. The figure isn't screaming, it's reacting to hearing a scream from nature itself. Munch described the inspiration. While walking at sunset, he felt an infinite scream passing through nature. The agonized figure holds its hands to its ears, overwhelmed by this cosmic howl. The blood-red sky wasn't just artistic license. Scientists believe Munch witnessed the atmospheric effects of the 1883 Krakatoa volcanic eruption, which created spectacular red sunsets across Europe for months. 4. Las Meninas, Diego Velázquez, 1656. Diego Velázquez's Las Meninas is considered one of the most complex and analyzed paintings in Western art. At first glance, it shows a scene from the Spanish court, the young Infanta Margarita surrounded by her ladies-in-waiting, meninas, dwarfs, a dog, and other court figures. But the true genius lies in what Velázquez is actually showing us. Here's the mind-bending part. Velázquez painted himself into the scene, standing before a huge canvas with palette and brushes in hand. But what is he painting? Look at the background. There's a mirror on the back wall reflecting King Philip IV and Queen Mariana. This creates an impossible puzzle. Are we seeing what the king and queen see, or are they seeing us? Is Velázquez painting the royal couple, or is he painting the very scene we're looking at, which would mean he's painting himself painting? The painting plays with perspective, reality, and the relationship between artist, subject, and viewer in ways that were revolutionary. Before we reveal the top 3 most mysterious artworks, let's pause for just a moment. If you're enjoying these fascinating art secrets, show us some love by hitting that like button right now. It really helps us continue creating content like this. And if you haven't subscribed to Topify yet, what are you waiting for? Click that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our amazing countdowns. We've got so many more fascinating lists coming your way. 3. Whistler's mother, James McNeill. Whistler, 1871. James McNeill, Whistler's portrait of his mother, officially titled Arrangement in Gray and Black Number. 1 may appear straightforward, an elderly woman sitting in profile against a stark wall. But this apparent simplicity hides layers of meaning that emerge only after careful observation. First, the title itself is revealing. Whistler emphasized arrangement, treating the painting as a formal composition of tones and shapes rather than a sentimental portrait. This was revolutionary. He was insisting that art's value lies in its aesthetic arrangement, not its subject matter. The painting is essentially a study in restraint and minimalism decades before these became movements. 2. The Night Watch, Rembrandt van Rijn, 1642. Rembrandt's The Night Watch is one of the most famous group portraits ever created, but its title is actually wrong. It's not set at night. Centuries of varnish darkening and grime made it appear to be a nocturnal scene, but cleaning revealed it's actually a daytime scene in bright sunlight. This misunderstanding lasted for over 200 years. The painting depicts a civic guard company preparing to march, led by Captain Frans Banninck Kock. But what makes this revolutionary is that Rembrandt transformed a conventional group portrait into a dynamic action scene. Instead of having everyone pose formally in a line, he created chaos and movement. Figures overlap, some are in shadow, others in brilliant light. 1. Girl with a Pearl Earring, Johannes Vermeer, 1665, 11, 10 to 12:30. Finally, at number 1, we have Girl with a Pearl Earring by Johannes Vermeer, a painting so mysterious and captivating that it's been called the Mona Lisa of the North. Created around 1665, this seemingly simple portrait of a young woman glancing over her shoulder has inspired novels, films, and endless speculation. The first secret, we don't know who she is. Unlike most portraits of the era, this painting is a tronie, a Dutch genre featuring imaginary figures rather than specific people. She might be Vermeer's daughter Maria, a model, a composite of multiple people, or purely fictional. The pearl earring itself, so central to the painting's identity, may not even be a real pearl. Some experts believe it's made of glass or polished metal, as pearls that large would have been impossibly expensive. Here's a challenge. Next time you visit a museum or see a famous painting online, look closer. Search for hidden details, unusual symbols, or mysterious elements. You might discover your own art secret. Share your findings in the comments. Now it's your turn to join the conversation. Which artwork surprised you the most? Did you already know some of these secrets, or did we reveal something completely new? Click that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our incredible countdowns. This is Topify signing off.